Right, is everyone picking everything up?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. I see the voice lines. And immediately a dog yelps in the background. Have fun with that.
Kat, are you recording?
Yep.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Please record.
Please. Is it picking up your voice?
Yes.
Before now, mysteries had never been discussed or uncovered. But now, Contumacious Ant and Atreya are back for a second season. The MO Podcast.
Hello and welcome all into the MO Podcast. You're here with me, as always, Contumacious Ant.
And me, Atreya.
And today we have a little bit of something different. We've got two special guests on. We've got Novadoam.
Hello.
And we have the lovely Kat.
Hello.
How could you say that with any more venom?
Oh, you're gonna regret this, mate.
Oh, by the end of this, ooh.
Just gonna remind you were the one that asked.
Oh, fuck it, already. We're just, a minute in. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to fucking do all that again because it just going to delete. I'm not editing it, just delete it. Nova, what are you going to be talking about?
Oh, I will be talking about the Uniondale Hitch-hiker, baby.
Okay. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a poor version of Dartmoor Hairy Hands, but whatever. Can't even get your own, myths down there, can you? Anyway.
Can't even get your own disembodied hairy hands.
And Kat, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to talk about an old Norwegian folklore creature named Huldra.
Gesundheit. So, that's getting edited. Nova, if you want to start us off and tell us all about your cheap rip-off hairy hands person.
Oh,
fire away.
with pleasure, and with absolute pleasure after you slap me in the face right there. Anyways. So the Uniondale Hitch-hiker is actually one of the more famous little tales of this country, because when I was asked to look into it, I actually did remember it after, reading two lines. I'm like, oh yeah, my mom used to tell me about this.
Creepy. What, like a bedtime story, or...
No.
Or this is what happens. This is what happens, Novadoam, when you go out partying with them college kids. You'll get touched by hairy hands coming home, so it's best you just stay home.
Wow. Now, to be honest with you, that could happen if you're out with college kids. Do you know what I mean? When you're that age, you could get touched by hairy hands at the end of the night, but only if it's consensual, I think.
The really experimental phase.
Yeah. Are you wearing gloves?
But, yeah. It's a story that awakened a memory in my brain and all that. So the story of the Uniondale Hitch-hiker is basically like this. It's a in the name. It's a hitchhiking ghost. People see her along the road and they're like, "Oh, somebody needs a lift," and they just let a stranger onto their car, who then just disappears afterwards.
Like, who even does that? Who picks up hitchhikers these days? I don't get it.
Yeah,
it's how you get murdered.
Yeah, did I ever tell you when we went we were going to Brazil and my wife suggested that we hitchhike, but just hitchhike with the truckers.
Whoa,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
in Brazil.
Yeah, and
wow,
where we were working, there was I'd say police guy, but there was a guy who worked solely on the roads. He was like a highway officer or whatever. And the only thing he said to me, he was pissed out of his head, but the only thing he said to me for 20 minutes was nunca, which is never. And I was like, I'm never going to do it, mate. Because she was telling him and he's like, don't fucking do that, you mental person. You'll
you end up in a body bag.
Exactly. It's the truckers who are responsible
It's basically the same, mate. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, sorry, that was my hitchhiking story.
All right, well, it sounds plain and straightforward like that, but maybe we should delve into a little bit of background. So, in general, the ghost of Uniondale, or known as the Uniondale Hitch-hiker, is believed to be a woman. Ooh, yeah, a lady of the night.
Now you've piqued my interest. Ooh, hairy hands
Yes.
and all.
Her name. Oh, kink shaming. Is this what's happening now?
Hey, don't kink shame.
It's anyway. I'm not going to say, but feels quite soft, doesn't it? Anyway.
All right. Well, so this woman, her name was Maria Charlotte Roux, who met her demise in a motor vehicle accident on April 12, 1968. This was an Easter weekend. So, always Easter weekend. I don't know what it's about Easter weekend, but yes. So the story goes... There's so many...
What do you mean always Easter weekend? How many other stories do you have that are always in Easter? This is literally the first story I've ever heard that was Easter weekend.
If you look into it, so much weird things happen on Easter weekends.
Yeah, have you not heard about the crucifixion?
I was going to be like, except that's the most common thing that we know about Easter weekend.
That's completely ruined Easter for me, that.
The crucifixion was weird. Okay, weird things happening in Easter. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it happened at midnight, apparently, this entire accident. Because, you're driving down the highway in 1968, at midnight.
Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah.
As you do. So, to give a little bit more, so the newly engaged couple of Michiel Wilberose, an army corporal, and his 22-year-old fiancée, Maria Charlotte Roux, she was an administrative clerk. They were traveling to Riversdale from Pretoria to visit Ria's parents and discuss their wedding plans. While Ria was sleeping...
Wait, I thought you said she was a lady of the night.
She's now. She wasn't before her death.
Oh, okay.
Taking on a career after death.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The stuff she'd wanted to do in life. She's like, I think there could be money in it. Lots of money in this. I'm going to give it a go after I'm dead.
So while Ria was sleeping, the Volkswagen Beetle was veered off course by a strong gust of wind, where he lost control of the vehicle and the car overturned near the Barandas turnoff, around 20 kilometers from the town of Uniondale. Ria fell out and ended up in a ditch along the road. She died instantly, but some say she is still trying to get home. Ooh.
A gust of wind blew their car off. How strong is this wind?
Yeah, a gust of wind. Well, to be fair, this the town of Uniondale is located within the Western Cape area of South Africa, and it gets real windy here. We get very strong winds on good days.
You should look at making heavier cars then.
Yeah, but it also depends on the surface of the car, because if it's a truck that has a longer side, it's easier for the wind to just tip it over because it hits a bigger surface. But we have a lot of bridges.
Yeah, just build walls next to the road to
Get crushed.
block off the wind.
It'll just blow over the walls.
Wall.
Yeah, I've not thought this through. I mean, you may be able to tell I'm not an engineer.
No, don't worry, mate. It's fine. Don't worry. You don't have the internal suffering of an engineer. Not just yet.
Internal suffering. You make it sound like a Van Gogh kind of deal.
Oh, it definitely is. Van Gogh is our inspiration.
Oh, right, okay. You have both ears, right?
Yeah, I still have both ears. Give me time.
That's only when
I'm
you
only
get
27.
promoted. Yeah. You need to like be up there just to get to that level. Take your ear off.
It's when I become a level 7 laser lotus that I lose the ear.
Love it. So Maria was killed instantly?
Yeah, she fell out of the car, ended up in a ditch, and died. So, to continue on, Hill, her fiancé, survived the accident, but he was seriously injured. He was very confused and could not find her in the dark. However, a passing motorist picked him up and took him to the hospital, where another motorist later found Ria's body at the overturned Beetle. He picked up her ID booklet, a little change, and a handkerchief, and later sent it to her mother. In an accompanying letter, he wrote that Ria's facial expression was happy like an angel's, and like someone who had complete peace with herself.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, she got through out of a car at speed.
Into a ditch.
And he's like, oh, she looks very peaceful.
She died so peacefully. She's face down in a ditch.
Smiling.
Yeah.
And she never left the house without her pocket kerchief, clearly.
But yeah, she was buried in the cemetery in Riversdal, where her grave can still be found today. So, she is a real woman, because you can find her grave.
Ooh.
Need to make this very clear.
So then when did she come back?
So, in the, like, a lot of people believe that now that she's the ghost. So somebody says here but this I don't think has been confirmed, but her fiancé married another woman a year later.
A year?
Just a year later. It's like, all right.
He must have had someone on the side.
Scoundrel.
I'm over it. It sounds like her drool is still fresh.
Ria, excuse me.
Her drool's still fresh on the goddamn bedroom pillows, and he's moving another girl in. Shocking.
So, yeah. So that's one of the reasons why people believe her spirit is restless and how she became the Uniondale Hitch-hiker. Ooh. I don't know why I'm doing the sound effects.
That's usually me. Ooh.
Yes.
Stealing my lines. You've been here 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's bullshit, this.
So, yeah. Bloody husband marrying a year later. And other people believe that since she was sleeping at the time of the accident, she did not know she had died, and is still searching for a fiancé or a way back home to discuss her exciting wedding plans with her parents.
Or with her fiancé's new wife.
So because she was asleep, she didn't know she died. That's what they try to say.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
So she's woke up dead, like as a ghost, and just gone, that bastard's just driven off and left me. He fell asleep for 5 minutes.
And someone's nicked my handkerchief and my pocketbook. Fucking hell.
So what makes her, like, scary then? Other than, being a ghost. Potentially an angry one that's lost her handkerchief.
Well,
I'd be livid.
Well, the most of the stories go in the way where people just see a woman, like a pale woman in, like, a dress along the road. Where they are then, like, where she's like standing waiting for a lift. That's the word. That took me ages to realize. She's just waiting to try and get a lift from somebody, and people are like, "Oh hell yeah, come on in!" And she gets in, and they drive, and then after a while, she's just gone. And she can't. She apparently leaves with a giggle and the scent of apples.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, I mean, but was there anything to imply that she liked apples in a previous life?
Maybe there were apples in the car.
Was she an apple heiress?
Maybe it was her perfume.
Or she liked cider or something?
All these people just keep picking up the local drunk. All this time they think that it's a ghost.
And she just falls out the back of the car as you're driving.
Yeah.
She's that pissed.
Oh, what's that?
Fucking hell, I can smell Strongbow.
Oh. Is that a martini? Yeah, but so there are quite a few witness stories that I found. So it depends how many you want to hear or so on, but this one is specifically noted as the most notable recorded sighting.
Here we go. Was Ed Warren involved in this?
Maybe. Apparently, to many of the sightings, she becomes most active at night around Easter weekend, or close to Easter weekend. Yeah, since that's when she died. So, according to this most notable recorded sighting, a young woman matching Ria's description was made on the cold, rainy evening of May 1, 1976, when Anton Lechrancy was driving his Mercedes on the Uniondale Willowmore Road near the tiny town of Uniondale. He said, "I saw a girl standing at the side of the road," he recalled. "I stopped. She opened the door and got in. I asked where she wanted to go, and she said, Porter Street 2, De Lange." She was dark-haired, with a pale face, dressed in a dark coat and slacks. After a few miles, I turned my head and she was gone. Puzzled, Lechrancy drove into Uniondale, reported the incident to the sergeant on duty, Cornelius Snowy Potgieter, then resumed his journey. "Just outside Uniondale, I heard the most chilling sound I've ever heard in my life," he remembered. "To this day, I can tell you if it was a laugh or a scream. Oh, I can't tell you if it was a laugh or a scream. It was right in the car, really loud. Although I was absolutely alone."
How can you not tell the difference between a laugh and a scream? I feel like this guy's a serial killer.
I feel like we're just going to pull it back to martinis in the 60s here. And kids, don't drink and drive, because this is what happens.
Absolutely. That's not even the whole story yet. That's the interesting part. Like, this lady terrified a lot of people that night. So
on one night she went on a spree.
Essentially, yeah.
Awesome.
So, terrified, Lachranci sped back to Uniondale, where he and Potgieter searched the car, finding no trace of the girl. Lachranci again set off, the sergeant following him in his police van. Just outside Uniondale, while I was driving at a steady 70 kilometers per hour, the right rear door of my car slowly opened and closed, said Lachranci. It was a controlled, gentle opening and closing, exactly as if someone got out and then shut the door behind them. Sergeant Potgieter remembered. Lachranci drove through a patch of mist, and about 200 yards beyond the mist, I saw the right rear door slowly open and close as if somebody got out. Rattled from the experience, Sergeant Potgieter returned to the police station, locked up for the night, and went home.
just like that.
It's just like,
Fuck this shit. I'm
Closing
going
the
home.
police station.
Not paid enough.
Shift.
No more crime tonight, please, people, because I am going home.
I love how they drove back to check the car as well. Like, you would know if you had a person in the back of your car. You don't need to search the car to look for a person. Cars aren't that big. You can just peer through the window to see if there's somebody in a car, and you don't have to like turn it inside out to just like she could be under the seats. She could be under the seats. Pull that seat back.
Check the boot.
No, unless she was 2.5 inches, I feel like she would still struggle to hide in the car.
I mean,
but yeah,
they didn't say how tall she was.
So that's 2 people that she frightened that night. However, it's not even done. There's more.
Ooh.
For Sergeant Potgieter, the description given of the girl had stirred some unsettling memories. At about 8 a.m. the next morning, because no way he was going to check those books at night, Sergeant Potgieter confronted the police sergeant, Pat MacDonald, and asked him if he remembered the girl that was killed in the car accident a few years ago. Pat MacDonald was the first officer to the scene of the accident that day. He said, I found a Volkswagen Beetle off the road, and the girl was lying on her back with her head against the... With her head against the embankment. She had died of head injuries. I later ascertained that her name was Maria Roux. The driver survived. I explained to Sergeant Potgieter that what the girl actually looked like, which was exactly the same description that was given by Lachranci. So the word spread around Uniondale like wildfire. There was a phantom hitchhiker on the N9. Within days, the newspaper got hold of the story and contacted Maria Roux's mother. According to the journalist, Janie Mayer, I told her about the story and that people thought it's her daughter that is haunting in that area, and she gave me a photograph of her. Later, when Anton Lachranci was shown the photo of Maria, he said, it was the same girl. There's no doubt about it. It frightened me so much, I've never been back since, says 40-year-old Anton Lachranci, a mechanic and truck driver.
Truck drivers. You cannot trust them. I love that as well. Like, the first thing that you do is like, oh, you know what? Remember that trauma from a few years ago? You know, where that poor girl was killed in the car crash? Let's go and tell her mum that we think that her daughter's haunting that stretch of road.
Imagine someone turning up at the door and going, by the way, you know, your daughter that was just about to get married and you lost in terrible circumstances. She's a ghost now up the road, and
just break
she's
their
pissed
jaw
off
on
this
the
guy.
doorstep, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean...
She's scared a police officer so much he's had to shut the police station for the night. Can you sort her out? What?
You just wouldn't, would you? I love that as well. All these people have like these really exotic sounding South African names, and then you got Pat MacDonald.
I mean, that's 1970, so a few British people were hanging about.
Oh, he sounds British. Pat MacDonald.
Yeah.
Get a builder's brew.
Yeah, and a copper.
So yeah, that's the most notable story where that one ghost got one man to retire from the police force after one night.
Just saying, I can't deal with this anymore. Oh, I thought it was going to be like an episode of The Bill, but it's like The Shining. What?
The Shining.
So have you got more stories then?
There are some more. I can delve into them if you would like. 2 of them happen on motorcycles.
Yeah, give us a motorcycle one.
A motorcycle one. Yeah.
All right, so this story It says here, on Good Friday 1980, a motorcyclist with the name of Andrei Kutsia, he was 20 years old, had a terrifying experience while riding along the N9 past Uniondale, looking for a friend who he thought might have run out of petrol in the desert. All of a sudden, I felt hands around my waist. I could actually feel the pressure, and as I looked down, I saw those hands. I was very scared, and I felt I must get away from that place. That is when I accelerated, and about 150 kilometers, she gave me 3 whacks against the head, and then she just disappeared. I never saw nobody standing next to the road.
Wow.
Oh, she's just a troll. She's
Yeah.
like messing with people.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
time.
As he sped up, she's like, "Stop it!"
Just smacking people in the middle of the night.
Don't go faster.
You're breaking the speed
Can we
limit.
just go back to the fact that he'd lost his friend in a desert? I'm going to need some geography on this.
So, Uniondale is more in like the Karoo area of South Africa, which is very desert-like. It's very dry and hot in those areas. I myself, I've driven through there, like every time I've driven down to Cape Town.
Has anybody smacked you up the side of the head?
No, because I didn't really drive past Uniondale, no, did I?
Oh, well, you need to.
On Easter weekend.
And near an Easter weekend.
At Easter weekend, at midnight.
Yeah, it has to be at the right time, yeah. And the moon's got to align properly.
Easter weekend at midnight, drive past Uniondale, and you've had to have had a skinful of cider as well before you go.
Yeah, because if I go too quick, she'll punch me in the face.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. You need to be nice. If you go to 70, she'll just get out.
So, yeah, that
Obviously.
happened on a motorbike. The other motorbike story basically goes the same way, where he was driving. There's one person called Corporal Davy. He was an army corporal. Oh, Davy van Jaarsveld. There we go. He was doing his national service at Oudtshoorn, an army base 100 miles from Uniondale. He was on his way there to spend the holidays with his girlfriend. His journey took him along the N9. We have now heard this road name several times. He says, when I reached the intersection, I saw somebody standing on the side of the road. Just as I turned to the right, she kind of lifted her arms up like, "Oh no, aren't you going to stop?" Davy stopped his motorcycle and offered a lift to the young woman with dark hair and dark clothing. She climbed on, putting his spare helmet on her head and an earpiece in for some music.
Wait, what year is this?
This one is
She got an iPod?
1978, so 2 years before the previous story.
Okay.
How she got what? How she got AirPods? Fucking like in 1978.
They had their massive earphones, didn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you've got to put a helmet on over them. Not buying this straight away.
Also, it's a little bit late for the helmet.
Well, yeah.
She should have worn it in the
Yeah.
car the first time round.
So according to him, he says, I asked her to please hold tight around my waist so that I can feel if something goes wrong. After a
I
kilometer or
bet he
two,
did.
yeah, absolutely. After a kilometer or two, the bike had a twitch. I thought she fell off. A lot of scenes went through my head. I turned around. I wanted to see if I still had someone with me. Then there was nobody. I turned around, went back with the motorcycle to see if there was anybody lying along the road. Just dead along the road.
Just
But he
Shit,
noticed.
she had my best headphones.
Yeah.
and my biggest helmet.
Ah, gosh dang it, man. I knew picking up this hitchhiker was going to go badly. So, according to him, he then saw the spare helmet was back on his luggage rack. Then he just had to move off because he realized then that he didn't really pick anybody up. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, the AirPods did it for me. No, not having it. Not having it.
Captain Skeptic over here.
How big would that helmet have to be to get it on? Like the goddamn like I'm sure we're all wearing headphones at the minute, and you've got to think of wearing a helmet over headphones isn't conducive to wearing a helmet. You may as well not wear the helmet because the fact of the matter, wearing a helmet is it encases your head.
Yeah, but wasn't it those old helmets that barely covered your head?
Or maybe she had a really little head and it was a man's helmet. So there was plenty of room.
Whatever, I'm calling bullshit. That's all. I did hear about the Uniondale Hitch-hiker, and it is very reminiscent of others said the hairy hands kind of thing, and that. But I didn't actually know she was a real person, because the hairy hands are obviously just hands. They're not attached to anyone, which makes it weird. But I didn't know she was a real person, and this was not a true story, because it's really not. She's not haunting anyone. There was a story behind the story kind of thing. And her husband was a dick, it seemed. Fiance was a dick. Yeah, just got rid of one, getting another
very
one.
much.
Why not?
It takes so much to convince you, doesn't
Well,
it?
I mean, she'd have to slap me upside the head for me to go, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough. Maybe
you
I'll
piqued my
consider
interest.
If anyone was going to get slapped up the side of the head.
Well, exactly, yeah. I don't. I think, I'd be prime candidate.
You'd have a longer, time with her as well, because you don't drive. You'd be walking along.
I'd be stood next to her trying to hitchhike with her. Get out. Come on, love, get someone to pull over.
All right, Ant. How's about this? Maybe this will convince you. So, so there's been many more sightings of the Uniondale hitchhiker, but none of them have really been confirmed. So they're more rumors than anything else. But compared to the other stories, the other stories are recorded sightings apparently. However, many of the reports do say that the woman, when they pick her up, says she wants to go to Potterstraat 2 de Lange, number 2 Porter Street, but she never stays long enough to reach a destination. So I quickly just googled the street, 2 Porter Street, and funny enough, it is a location in Kuils River here in Cape Town. It's a house. It's legit as address for a house.
Interesting.
Maybe, right? Maybe she hops on the back, asks if she can go to Porter Street, and then remembers, fuck, that's my old address. But by then, she feels too bad to actually say, actually, we're going in a complete opposite direction to where I need to go. I'm ever so sorry. She just bails.
This is just like, yeah, she's a bit of an introvert. She can hitchhike, but she can't correct her wrongs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's her ex-fiance's missus's address, and she's off to do the deed of getting rid of her. And then she, halfway through, she has a crisis of conscience and goes, no, it's not for me.
And then climbs off.
I'm better. I'll rise above
Rinse
it.
and repeat.
I'm above all this.
Yeah. She has periods. Every year she gets a bit nostalgic and goes, you know what, I'm going to fuck that bitch up. And then...
every Easter weekend.
Just as it... it gets her thinking, doesn't it? Because she died. So it brings up a lot of memories that weekend.
Or it's Easter weekend, so she's like, if Jesus can surprise bitches, I'm going to as well.
Could be. Maybe she's just got to drop off Easter eggs, and that's it. No, yeah, thank you for that, Nova. I appreciate it. That was.
He doesn't believe it, but he appreciates
interesting.
it.
It was interesting.
If you want something more,
of course. Oh,
if you want something more, it's just some final tidbits of information on that. So, in 2006, which is 38 years after her death, her older brother just basically said, "We are more than tired of all these stories of seeing my sister's ghosts. It's a bunch of nonsense, but it just doesn't end." The organizers of the Klein Karoo National Arts Festival even uses it as an advert for the festival. Anton Goosen sings about it.
That's bad.
And then there are the people who go camping at the accident scene on Easter weekend year after year in the hope of seeing a ghost. Even Uniondale is benefiting from the tourism, because yes, this ghost is actually a very good tourism attraction.
Oof, they should be getting royalties.
Yeah. So a family basically said, "We want to say to the people, release Ria. There is no ghost of her. There never has been one. People need to know that Ria was a happy girl and she was a compassionate person. She loved jokes, loved music, loved animals, and she had a bubbly personality. If Ria, where she is in heaven right now, was looking at all these monkeys and their stupid ghost stories here on Earth, I'm sure she would have a good laugh. She was that type of person." These monkeys.
That just makes it more likely that she would be the one doing it, though, because she's just joking around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, oh, this is hilarious. Did you see his face? He was so shocked.
Just having a laugh with him.
You drove on the side around. Join me, bitch.
Look at him. I got him. Ah!
So yeah.
Love it.
And then finally, a movie was made inspired by this story. So this is one of...
Oh. Is it set in the Conjuring universe?
Yes. So in 2014, a movie was released based on it. It was called Die Spook van Uniondale, or translated, The Ghost of Uniondale, which is a romantic movie, which basically is more about the romance rather than the horror of the ghost.
Like the romance... What romance? Like building up to her death, or the romance after, where a fiancé just shacks up with another bird straight away?
No, it's just two random people falling in love, and she just kind of plays a role in the background.
So she's not even a star player. Oh my!
No, she's not. Not at all.
Shocking.
Wow. Okay, yeah. That's marketing, I suppose.
Yeah. There you go, The Ghost of Uniondale, and
yeah, thank you.
Just as you ordered.
So much for that. That's
Look at him, he's fuming.
Can I? Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm fuming at the fact that people are exploiting this thing. That being said, people exploit the hairy hands, I suppose. So
yeah.
I didn't mean that as a euphemism, obviously.
I guess if we ever do an episode.
But, yeah, indeed. So yeah, we've just exploited Rhea here as well. So we're part of the
monkeys
team. So
there you go.
Apologies. Yeah.
You're part of the problem. Congratulations.
Fuck. Shit, I feel bad now. Right. Yeah. Anyway. Now, right. Let's move on to whatever the hell you're going to talk about, Kat.
Because you can't pronounce it.
Exactly, that's what I said. The Norwegian mythology.
No, in
bedtime scary story.
It's a folklore creature. There's a difference.
Potato. Okay.
It's with the years they were made.
Okay. Fine. Here we go. Off you go.
Well, so Hulda. She is a very lovely lady, I think.
You would think, before anything gets started, you would think she was. That's all I'm going to say. This is the mindset you've got to put yourself into. For anyone that doesn't know that, it's the mindset. Sorry.
She's a very pretty lady with long golden hair and a cow tail and cow feet.
You had me right up to tail.
It's how she...
So she's a furry?
No. Like her upper body is very pretty female.
But she has
it's just the legs.
So a centaur.
And as we're talking about a story that started around the 1700s, she usually wears long dresses, so you don't see her legs. But she has to show her tail. She can't hide that.
Obviously,
that's a rule of hers.
She can't just wear it under the dress.
Yeah, I mean, what does she have a hole in the dress for a tail? So.
Yeah, do you know how tails were made?
I actually don't know how tails were made.
I don't
know
how tails were made. How dresses were made? Not in the 1700s.
Back in because they had like this done up that was all the way down to like around your bum.
Okay.
So there is an opening naturally at like the top.
Yeah.
So her having her tail out there isn't really a problem.
Okay.
She was born in the right years for her to dress normal in relation to how she had to hide.
Just except for the tail.
Yeah, except for the tail. Because she can't hide that. Because then she would be fooling people more than she already did. Either way, she lives in forests and in mountains and usually kind of near humans, but not into towns. Like in Norway, we always have nature surrounding every town. So she'd kind of live near, but not with them.
Okay, yeah.
So it was rare that she actually got seen.
Cheaper rent, innit?
Yeah, she just lived in the forest. It was very nice. But what she did. She was either very nice to you, or she was, she might kill you.
Like all women in my life.
Are you related to her?
I had dark hair, don't I? And I don't have a tail.
This sounds like kind of our relationship.
She's either really nice to you or she might kill you. Yeah, no, you're not wrong there,
yeah. That's basically it. I relate to her a lot, so that's why I love her.
Well, yeah. I can feel it now. See, what did I say? Cat's mindset. There you go.
Well, but usually, if you get lost in a forest and you find her, if you're nice, well, for her, a kind person, she'll help you out. Like, find your way back home, and you'll be free to go. Though, if she doesn't like you, she is gonna lead you into the bog, or let a tree fall on you, or get you close enough to the mountain that, what do you call it?
Avalanche.
Yeah, an avalanche will get you.
So she doesn't directly kill you herself?
No, she doesn't touch you.
She makes it look like an accident.
Okay. Fucking.
Yeah.
So, a proper woman then. Jeez. Nothing to do with me, Your Honour. It's an accident, isn't it?
So is this if she kills you if you're like an asshole?
Yeah, if you're mean to her or rude.
Never
like
going to Norway.
If you go up to her and comment about her tail, she wouldn't quite like you.
But it's the most noticeable thing. How? Oh,
it's a cow tail.
That's unfair.
It's like slim and in the folds of a dress.
That's like walking up to a pregnant lady, to a fat lady, and asking if she's pregnant. You just don't do it, okay?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she's a vigilante then.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Just don't call her a cow.
Don't call her a cow.
Don't call her a cow.
Yeah, just be nice to people, I think.
But she...
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, because she also would, if she lived close enough to, like, farm or something, she'd teach the music. Like, she'd come in and have a... Oh, that sentence would have sounded wrong.
Hold down.
What is the thing that's violin but isn't? What do you call that?
A violin that isn't.
A lute.
Fiddle?
A fiddle, yeah. Because that's the Norwegian.
Oh, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, that was what I was about to say.
She'll come into your house and have
like,
a fiddle. Oh, my dear.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, it's gonna come to your house to have a fiddle.
Oh, and you would have had a field day.
Oh, yep, gonna...
Cat knows you too well.
Yeah, it's stuffed.
I'm glad you had it in yourself, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm quite nice. Sometimes. But... no, I can't play music anymore. It's quite sad. Can't even fiddle.
What a life that must have been.
Sneak in and have a fiddle at night.
Do you go into people's homes, Kat, and teach them music?
No, she...
On Good Friday?
She's usually in the day. Like, she doesn't do nights. She isn't a scary creature.
Yeah, no, but she sleeps at night like normal people. She's just got a tail and cow's legs, for God's sake. She's got a regular day job and stuff as well. She works in the co-op.
Yeah, you don't mention when she shows up. Is it at midnight?
No,
Does she just show up at the window?
I've had some music teachers that have looked worse, I'll be honest.
But most of the stories about her was like the story, like told from mouth to mouth, was in the 700s. So the stories weren't really written down proper before the mid-1800s. And when they wrote those down, they got a bit changed from the originals. Because they were mixing every type of huldra together with each other.
Oh, okay. So
the Grimm's
it's
brothers had something to do with this.
So it's yeah.
No, we had our own versions of the Grimm in Norway. That it's two dudes that went around and gathered all the Norwegian folklore stories, and they changed them a bit because they also got to places that weren't as Christian, and took the creatures from there and Christianized them. Which was weird. It's why trolls, like, they only eat people with Christian blood. I think that's hilarious.
I'll be alright then.
Because it's like, otherwise you're just fine. You can walk and see a troll and be like, hey, how are you doing? And it's fine.
Oh,
But if you believe in God, it's
you
a
have
bit
to run
more...
the other way.
Like, do trolls like
yeah, then you should like...
they just like walk past people and go, "What's your religion?"
How did he know?
Scientology.
Yeah.
Jedi.
No. You see, they can smell it.
Oh, they can smell bullshit.
Oh, they smell it.
Smell me a good Christian on the horizon.
It's the whole, like, in... Well, I'm not actually talking about trolls, but trolls in Norwegian folk stories. Do you know the Fifa Fu Fum music?
Yeah.
You guys say when trolls. That is actually Fifa Fu Fum. Jeg lukter kristenmanns blod. That's the whole sentence. And the last bit is, I smell Christian man's blood.
That is...
Oh, wow.
That's the whole thing from that.
Well, I've learned something.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love
so
me some good
trolls only
Christian
eat
virgin
Christian
blood.
Good.
Love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very tall.
Oh, that's unsettling.
Like, they're as tall as the trees in the forest. So, like, you should see them coming, really. They're unquiet and they're all big bastards. But I wasn't talking about trolls. Though they also have cowtails.
Wait, what?
Carl's been busy.
Yeah, how many? What's he been doing, this guy? He must be a big bull. Yeah.
He got around.
I mean, you guys have goat people all the time. We
This is not wrong.
chose the cow instead.
Fair enough, each to their own. The Welsh chose the sheep. We'll just all call it quits.
Oh, yeah, but the darker part of her that came more out, like, other than killing people, that came out of these stories that was written in the mid-1800s, was that she'd sometimes marry men and, like, take them into the forest, and she'd get children with them, and then she'd come back and switch out children. And if a child in the 1800s or, like, probably late 1700s had some kind of disability that couldn't be fixed that they were born with, they always blamed that on her coming in, switching it with her own child.
I'm so glad you said like that, because I was thinking, imagine those poor parents waking up one morning and going, "Fuck my life! The baby's got a tail. This isn't my kid."
No. It was just if the children was ill that couldn't be cured, like they had some sort of disability, they just blamed it on her.
Imagine the surprise that those guys got when they like married her and took her into the forest, though, for the first consummation. Like, fucking hell, what the shit are these legs?
Yeah.
No wonder you're wearing a long dress.
I mean,
dear God.
does she have udders as well?
No,
Okay.
it's just like the legs.
Okay.
Everything
so it's
else
just
is fine.
the legs. So, like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, where's the cut off in the legs, though? Because I'd kind of count them parts that you need to have kids as part of the legs myself.
That's hips.
Yeah.
How?
Okay.
Legs. You know, what do you count as your leg?
I count
Do you count like...
anything below my beer belly is my legs.
I think you should maybe consider taking an autonomy course.
Okay, fine.
Just to
Fuck
freshen
you
up
now.
on that a bit.
There we go.
So, Anne, what you're saying is, in essence, is that you count your cock as part of your legs.
Oh,
right,
dear.
right.
Doc, I've got a real bad problem with my legs.
Right.
It's gone all green.
Do you know what? I'm big enough to back up on some things here and go, I haven't... When you said it out loud there, I now realise how ridiculous it is, okay?
or you've got a really big cock, which could be misconstrued as a third leg. You could
definitely not the issue. Definitely not the issue.
So you just made a boob.
Yes, I did. I thought like down below. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, let's move on. Editing all this.
No, you won't. So does she have hooves?
Well,
what are legs? What are legs, Atreya? What do you count as legs?
Yeah, but do you say in English that the cows have hooves?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the same as the horse. They have the, 2 bits and then the...
Yeah, but she has, cow's feet rather than human feet.
Yeah.
See, Ant, your legs and your feet are 2 different body parts as well.
For fuck's sake, I'm being schooled here. As you can tell, I'm not a biologist.
Oh, biologist, you're not a human being by the sounds of it. You have to be a biologist to tell the difference between legs and feet. God, I'd hate to be your doctor.
Look, this is a reason why I don't go to him that much.
Every time you go, does he get the little doll out and he's like, just point where it hurts?
I mean, I have been barred from a GP before, but whatever. I've not. Oh no. I've got a problem with my eye, Doc. Oh, why are you looking at my face? Not that eye.
No, you've got a problem with your legs.
Well, yeah.
My legs can't go stiff, Doc.
Sorry.
Which part of your lower half hurts? Is it your legs, your feet, your ankles, your knees, your arse, your cock?
That's not the right one.
Only one of them gets stiff, and then... Yeah, it's green and it smells.
Oh, no.
Fucking hell. Sorry, Kat, right. You were talking about
back
feet.
to the cow woman mating with men.
Yeah, even further back, to be honest.
That's further back, yeah. So she was changing out these kids was the new thing that came about. And that's everything I kind of have about her explanation. And I also want to mention that I lived underneath a small mountain, and my dad would regularly tell me that this lady lived right above us.
Oh, Christ.
Like a 5-minute walk from my house.
Do you know what? This cannot be said enough, but I love your dad.
He's awesome.
He is brilliant.
This one backfired on him, though, because I had learned enough from his mother that she could also be nice. So Kid Me went up there alone, found a cave, and went in to look for her.
You actually went, right, fuck this. I'm sick of your shit, Dad. I'm going finding a nice person.
I'm gonna find her. You get curious as children now. How does she really look like? How can you have a cow tail? How does that work?
That is brave.
No, I was just bored.
Wow.
I was an only child. There was no one else to play with in my street, so I was just alone. So when I learned
to find a cow lady instead.
Yeah.
So you went and adventured and go looking for folklore creatures.
And I was so pissed when I didn't find her.
You've been lying to me, Father.
So you searched out the lady.
You said that it backfired on your dad. I legit thought that,
lady. Okay.
Maybe that there was an actual little old lady that was living on the hill, on the mountain above you, and she put a claim in against your dad for slander or something.
No, because on the top of that mountain there is, on the top, there's 2 different plateaus. On the top there's old stronghold, so there's just ruins there now. But it was an old stronghold from the Middle Ages, and on the plateau underneath they have built You don't have a word for that. Well, it's basically they rebuilt Viking homes.
Oh, okay.
So they're this wooden cottages that's made of like full-on lumber. Lumber,
nice.
that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have these grass roofs and stuff.
So, like, the proper, like, you'd imagine what they would, like, Vikings would live in at that time. Like, with the big kind of trees, and then that they cut down the tree and then chop both ends off and then just use that as the wall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Love it.
So there's this house there. Because first I thought she lived in one of them. She didn't.
Go knocking on the doors.
Yeah, that's just empty.
And then some big Viking answers with a broadsword and a fucking axe. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
I don't want to see you. Go away.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
No, those are just empty, I learned. I was quite disappointed over that too, because I thought people actually lived in there.
Holy shit, they're just empty.
But they didn't.
I'd live
no
in
one
one of
lives
them.
there.
I would too.
They are quite small.
Oh.
They're like tiny. Like, you just be there to sleep. Like,
You've
in
met
that
me,
time
Kat.
you
I'm
were
not tall.
out work.
I mean, they could use them as like glamping pods or something, couldn't they?
Yeah, but I think they use them because there's a lot of Viking and Middle Age, what do you call them?
Oh, historical like artifacts and stuff around there, like archaeology.
No, but they have. I was going to say parties, but that's not what I meant. You know, a lot of people
Recreations.
come and they sell
Fairs.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yes, fairs. They have Middle Age and Viking fairs there. So, like, there'll be horses running around up there, and then they'll open up the houses. So, like, people can use them as shops and waiting rooms and stuff.
Oh, wow. And we get Morris dancers. Thank you, England. Fucking hell.
Grown men twirling a ribbon around a pole. You ever seen something so ridiculous in your life? Who thought of that?
Clacking sticks together. Like, soft.
No wonder we lose Eurovision every year.
Oh, yeah, got Bill
That's our
Bailey.
inspiration.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Well,
Yeah.
that is a story. You never found her, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Are you still
never
looking?
found her. No, I've. If I stumble upon her, I do. If not, then I'm not worthy.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't.
I mean, I bet she's on Instagram. Just DM her.
What's
Oh,
that?
no.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Why not? Well, okay, that was... and what was she called again? I'm not going to pronounce it.
Hildra.
I'm not going to pronounce it. You shout at me enough anyway.
I don't shout over pronunciations. I do shout when you put a gaming character into Norse mythology, though.
Look. Look, right? I can't remember which one I did with that one. Who was it?
I'm not gonna help you.
Oh, that's so unfair. Well, no, okay, fine. Well, I apologise for that. I don't do it again. I'm trying to think.
You wonder why I'm mean.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
You did this to me.
Exactly.
You're not mean, you're just keeping him right.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's not meanness. It's just correcting me, and I have an attitude of no, don't correct me. Don't correct me with your knowledge of your own culture. How dare
Correct
you?
me when I'm blatantly wrong and don't know which parts of the body are and aren't legs.
I will remain confidently incorrect. Thank you very much.
Yes, I think we've all realised that I need correcting all the time.
And you said this bug. What did you call them in Svartalfheim?
I didn't say anything.
You said the elf that you were talking about, the Norse elf.
Oh,
what did you call them?
They were... Oh, crap. Where's my notes? Hang on. They were... It's dusky and murky elves.
Yeah.
Miralkalfar. Mirkalfar.
Yeah, that's the gaming thing.
Fuck. Okay. Well, that's...
Gold.
Google, innit? That's what's done that.
Yeah, but the funniest with that is that you say they live in Svartalfheim,
Yeah?
which literally means black elf home.
So, dusky
Black
and
elves,
murky
not
elves
dusky.
live there, in their home, surely.
They're called black elves. They're black elves.
Look, it said, right? It
African elves.
said it can be translated as this or this. And I went,
It can't, though. Because we have a totally different word of what you're saying.
I don't know how language works in other languages. I just... Right, well, I apologise for that, but they,
Thank you.
murky elves, dodgy. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, dodgy they are.
There you go, see, I should
well
use
dodgy.
fucking dodgy. Oh! But that wasn't on the translations anyway. Whatever. Right, fine, fair enough. So I apologise for that, but I'm not going to apologise for calling a boat a boat because
But it was a yacht.
it's still a boat. All boats float,
And
right?
you called the dinghy a boat in the same episode.
Right. What's a boat? Something that floats.
Dead body floats.
I mean, so a log floats. It's not a boat.
Yeah.
But you can use it to make a boat.
Yeah.
Can
A
use
rubber
it
duck
to make a boat.
floats.
Look, you can put everything together that floats to make a boat.
And
Is
there's
ship a boat to you?
I want to see this human body log
rubber dog.
rubber ducky boat that you want to make.
So what do you think he drives on the River Styx? Now, I know drives isn't the right word for driving a boat, but you're stuck with it now. Did dead
You
man...
can drive a boat.
You can.
It's surprising his mate. You can.
Like, if it's a motorized boat, you can drive it. Right? If it's a rowboat, you row it. If it's a sailboat, you sail it.
Oh, get dunked on.
I'll take that all on board and edit it all out, and then just be me saying boat for the next 10 minutes.
Boat, 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 boat.
Exactly. Right. This has been the worst idea ever.
I think it's been the best idea ever.
I knew this would happen.
You bring it on yourself.
You were the one that asked.
Fine,
I hope
fair
everybody
enough.
enjoyed this final episode of the MO podcast.
Yes, yeah, that's
Season
it. We're going to take a break. It's going to be fucking indefinitely now, I tell you. I'm going to burn me Kim PC after this.
It's fine. You're going to forget it tomorrow.
Yeah. That's right.
I'll forget it in about 5 minutes. I'm very drunk. I'm not. I'm not. I will be, but I'll drink away my sorrows is what I do. Doing this has given me far too many.
You row a boat.
That's it. I'll be banging it on the desk. Like, how can you drive a boat?
Yeah, but why did you think it was another word than drive a boat?
Could you steer?
Or were you thinking sailing as a sailboat?
Don't you steer a boat? Oh, silence.
Some boats have steering
isn't
wheels.
driving. You can steer every boat because you have to steer it
So that's
to drive it.
Oh yeah, steering is more controlling direction.
What are you
Give it
talking
up,
about?
man.
Do you know what steering is?
using that big wheel.
Yeah, using the wheel. If you're using the engine, that's driving.
Oh, Look, modern times. Right. On that bombshell.
Would you say you were steering a sailboat?
Just. Yeah, you steer a sailboat because the wind's blowing it.
You sail a sailboat.
And then you steer it with the big wheel.
Yeah, but you steer every boat. You steer a rowboat too, because you have to keep it on course.
Hello and welcome to the extended episode of the MO podcast.
You steer a car.
I love how I'm not the most ridiculous person on the podcast for a change.
It's not the MO podcast now. It's Ant's breakdown in real time.
Sorry.
Right.
I'll let it go.
No, fine. So you can steer everything.
Yeah.
Boat, goat, car, whatever. Just
bike.
Fuck. Fine. Yeah. So. We've learned a few things, I hope, today.
This is an educational podcast, after all.
I mean, I've not, but I hope you have there.
No, you've learned that feet and legs are different.
Yeah, hopefully. Not for me, but... right, thank you so much. I truly... I didn't appreciate it, I'm not going to lie. I was going to try and end on a happy ending there, but no, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I'm gonna go and cry for a few hours now, bastards. I hope you're all happy with yourselves.
Very.
And no, jokes aside, that was thank you so much to Novadoam and to Kat there for their interesting stories. And like I said, we're gonna be taking a couple of weeks break just because I'm away next week and timing and whatnot, but we will be coming back for Series 3 and we've got some new stuff coming up. Hopefully we're going to have more interaction, more guests on. If you want to join in, just drop a comment, like and subscribe as well.
Helps the algorithm.
Indeed. And get involved if you want. We're here as long as you don't come at me like these two dickheads have. It'll all be good.
Noticed how he said two.
Yeah, I didn't mean Nova. So thank you, Kat, and thank you, Novadoam. Hopefully you'll be back again, and, well, not together. And
after this, I'm probably never coming back. I'm getting banned.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be nice.
I don't think you want me on again.
And as always, this has been the MO podcast with me, Contumacious Ant.
And me, Atreya.
And
Novadoam.
And Kat.
Thank you all so much, and we shall all see you next time. Well, not all, but we'll see you next time. Take care.
Oh my god.
The MO podcast.
Cheers.
Bye.
The MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast.